The FXO Protoss player to the top left of Whirlwind, starting here in blue, down a map already. His ID is
FXO Hurricane.
Hurricane maybe getting a little bit nervous in game number 1. Had a huge lead, was not able to win the game though against his Zerg opponent. Starting to the top right of Whirlwind, he had the third round of Code A.
Samsung Shine.
The great comeback against Tier, aka Hurricane.
Yep. That's his old ID for those of you guys who did not know. He made a really big name for himself on FX Open under the ID Tier. So for us, like sometimes, you know, the net name comes to mind.
And earlier I talked a little bit about the GSTL all-kill that Tier just got recently, but let's talk a little bit about his way into the third round of Code A. When he was playing his Code A qualifier bracket, he took down Emir, a Prime player, a Prime Zerg player. Then in the semifinals defeated a rather unknown Protoss player that won against Sage, or got a free win against Sage. And then in the finals, Hurricane had to deal with Cure and took him out. So then he advanced to the first round of Code A, where Tier had to deal with, or Hurricane had to deal with Hyun. Hyun, on the other hand, did not play that round. So he is now playing overseas in the next round of the WCS, in the next season. In the second round, he had to go up against Super, who also got an all-kill in the GSTL, and now he finds himself up against Shine. Tier this time going for cannon aggression, something that he's known for, and this is exactly what we already saw him thinking about in game number 1. In game number 2, he actually pulls it off, and so far Shine has no idea.
This is going to be perfect because he even has a second probe going over. He had the second probe to check, and you know, you take a risk and you might get punished for it, especially on a map like Whirlwind where it's really easy to cannon, and this is all he has to do is put one more pylon down. He even makes a cannon instead, so his cannons are in a great spot.
You know, the way that he builds this now is a very cheap cannon rush. Sometimes when the Zerg player pulls all his drones, you are in a situation where it's very tough for you to pull that off immediately because the Zerg tries to block those spots. You need to get the extra pylons out that you never want to place down. But right now, there's no problem for him at all to do this. There's the cancel at the natural, and now we might even see another cannon at the third.
He could cannon at the third, and you know, it's tough to do that because the 6 lings are on the way. I don't think he's going to do it.
It would be a bit too risky.
It's risky because the lings can go over there and shut the cannons down. If he doesn't, if he sends links to your base, you don't have a cannon at home, and so he could have done it though, for sure.
Okay. Let's just talk a little bit about why this is now an awesome position for Hurricane. He invested a lot of minerals for this. He invested 2 pylons and 1 cannon to force the cancel at the natural. And he can be fairly certain that for quite some time there won't be another base up there, up to the point where Shine finally sends in a queen and Zerglings or roaches to take out the cannon. But as you can see, those extra bases for Shine are very far spread out. So this is something where Hurricane has a lot of areas where he can place down a forward pylon, where he can warp in. He can do that at the natural. He can get another hold at the third base of his opponent, which is just now being scouted. So it's very difficult for Shine to defend all these bases.
Yeah.
So Hurricane might not be super ahead in economy at this point, but he's in a position where it's very difficult for Shine to defend what he has.
And, you know, I'm curious to see how Shine is going to respond after taking this third base. He could try to put some aggression on from that forward hatchery that the third base grants him. He could just simply try to kill the cannons with the Roach Warren. And, you know, it's only 1 cannon. He only let 1 cannon finish, so he could even kill that with Lings and Queens if he really wants to get his natural pretty soon. He's got a few options, though, and all-inning is something we definitely have seen players do with Nidus networks in this type of position in the past.
I really would like to see Tier go for an aggressive follow-up now to make sure that he pressures the third base at the bottom right of his opponent. No matter which base he pressures, it will be difficult for Shine to defend here. If Hurricane waits too long though, Shine is just going to take down those pylons and the cannon at his natural, and then when he's on 4 bases, it's going to be the same as if he would have taken the third later in the game. Yeah. So if he wants to capitalize on what he did so far, he needs to be a bit aggressive.
We'll see if he does that.
Doesn't have to do it right away though, but still.
There's the Robo going down, so looks like he's going to play this a little bit more passively, unless he goes for one of those Immortal Colossus pushes.
You know, even the Immortal Colossus push would be absolutely enough to do a lot of damage here, and it's still difficult for Shine to see that coming. But we have a few units already moving in. A pile at the bottom right will be awesome for him, but for now he's completely content of just putting pressure onto the third base of his opponent. Needs to be careful though, speed is not done just yet.
he should be able to kill the Queen if he targets it, but he doesn't do that. I mean, he already damaged it. If the Queen takes basically any damage from the Zealot and Stalker, the Mothership Core can just kill it on its own. But he was scared about an extra Queen coming out, and another Queen is about to pop. I feel he could have killed the Queen and gotten away, but it would have been too close for comfort for him.
Also, he doesn't really know about speed. It has just been started, and also the lair, both at the same time. So far, good macro. The second Stalker can now make sure that more Zerglings are going down for Shine. So Hurricane doing as much as he can.
And the Immortals are coming out. He's adding 3 gateways. I think we're just going to see a regular Immortal push here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it, and I feel that being aggressive is definitely the right choice here.
I like the choice a lot.
Yeah, for the reasons mentioned earlier, if you are able to spread out your opponent this much by cannon rushing him earlier, then you should try to capitalize on what you achieved. And with the +1 attack upgrade, it's going to be a difficult build to hold for Shine.
Yeah. I wonder what... You know, he's not adding another Immortal right now. There it goes, so a little bit late on that one. But I think that just 2 Immortals and a bunch of Gateways, which is exactly what we're seeing, is such a smart choice in these positions. He doesn't have very far to walk. He knows the creep is not going to be very good, and the third base that he's taken is such a weird one that's so far away it's hard to reinforce from. There's no creep anywhere near that base.
Also keep in mind that he can use the pylons to the right side of the map to warp in a few Zealots and then suddenly attack the main base while executing the attack at the left.
That's absolutely true, and if he doesn't do that, I'll be really surprised and disappointed. He's even now making the 3rd Immortal. He's really, really committed to this. Pylons are starting to go up. He's you know, showing a pylon that's not necessarily meaning he's going to attack. It actually more so looks like a 3rd.
To the right side now, the pylons and the cannon are being taken out, so Shine finally takes those units down, those structures. He knows that this is a huge threat to his main base, and he takes them out. We don't really have that on screen right now, but you can see it on the minimap. Here we have the last pylon being killed by the roaches.
Yep, and he didn't micro his roach, but it didn't die, so it doesn't matter.
But we also have Burrow being researched. And how many observers do we have? Not a single one, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's just going to cancel that Nexus. I don't think he's actually going to commit to this. How many gateways does he have?
Well, you know, if he has the Nexus here, at least he can warp in units at that pylon, and he expands towards his opponent. Here comes also the Warp Prison. Roach is on the way.
Yeah, this feels so strange to me that he would make those gateways first and then his Nexus.
Also supply blocked and heavily at that. Getting only 1 additional pylon right now. Warps in another set of units. Doesn't see the roaches.
Yeah, this is a big problem. I think part of the reason why he was supply blocked is because the pylon he had at the natural was killed, but he's going to lose this forge, that's for sure. Or, you know, he could just run right in. There's a gap.
There's the Warp Prism. He takes down the cannon, and here comes the recall to the natural, trying to take those units down. Where's the force field to grab the roaches? Doesn't have one.
Nope. But you know, this 3rd base is still very much under pressure. Here comes a big warping. He keeps warping in sentries like this, and I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, the sentry didn't do anything at all, and now the roaches can take down that Nexus, but here's a photon overcharge already. The Mortals being attacked, but doing a lot of damage against those roaches, and Hurricane is doing a decent job keeping them alive.
Shine is trying to go for the Nexus and make the best of it, but he decides not to. Few Zealots warping in here to trap him, and good force fields as well. Shine's getting nothing done here.
He could burrow.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, there he goes, but there is detection already. We have an observer here, finally, for Hurricane. And now Shine is losing every single roach. But still, he's the one who is being aggressive here, and Hurricane needs to put the fight towards his opponent's base.
Yeah, like at this moment in time, Shine has a 4th base finishing up. He has creep connected between all of his bases. The 4th, which is the one that has the most minerals, is really close to his main. Easy to defend. And again, warping in sentries while there are roaches attacking. It's just not the right choice.
Yeah, he's trying to just force field them out, but he's too late. But now here comes this big attack from Hurricane, and a few roaches already moved back. Sentry's finally with a good force field at the top of the ramp, and the Immortal is able to take down those who are able to get into the base.
Okay, so now this is a much better position than the last base race we saw with Hurricane. I don't know about those probes, but he has cannons going up at the top of the ramp. He can warp in more sentries at the top. He also has the Warp Prism out there, so he's got a lot of potential with this one, much more so than last game.
Yeah, he's 50 supply behind his opponent, but he could do a lot here. That's definitely true. He has the main base completely entrapped. Here comes the time warp against the roaches. The Immortal's still alive, at least 2 of them, doing a lot of damage here. And as long as Shine only has roaches, he has a really good shot at taking down the Berserk player.
Yeah, and he's got full shields on those Immortals right now, so they are doing a lot. They're going to last a long time. Here come the rest of those roaches. He needs to force them out, and he does.
He does. He needs to get a good position where he has a very small choke point to control, but those Immortals doing so much damage here. The problem are the Zerglings that are being built now. Oh, well, the force field's a little bit too late. The Immortals exposed.
Oh no, Shine gets in here with the Zerglings as well. He tries to pick up the Immortals, but he definitely isn't going to be able to unload those.
Yeah, he needs to move back at some point. He cannot win this fight at this position.
This is terrible. He's got one Nexus. I mean, all he can do now is make a new Nexus at his natural, but...
I'm surprised that he did not walk up the ramp to the main base, put force fields on the ramp, take down the main base, take down the tech of his opponent, and then try to recall back with the mothership.
Yeah, I mean, he has force fields, so all he needed to do if he did that is just keep making more sentries with this Warp Prism. This is just... This is... I think this is basically unwinnable for Hurricane. He doesn't even have any mining, really.
It's going to be very difficult to hold off. Here comes finally now the Observer, and no burrowing anymore for Shine, but he's trying to make his way into the main base. The force fields so far are good, but he's down to 60 supply, 70 now against 130. And we have still 3 mining bases, 4 mining bases actually for Shine.
Yeah, Shine, he doesn't even have to kill Hurricane here. He can... If he wanted to, he could start Aspire right now and then just go into Mass Mutas and kill him.
He should... I feel that the choice that he is doing here, just droning up, is the right one. There's not a lot that Hurricane can do. He could attack, but Shine knows when he's moving out. He has units everywhere on the map. So droning up on 4 bases and just making time work in his favor is exactly the right decision for the Zerg to take this game.
Yep. You know, he's just making more and more Immortals. He has still 4 Immortals left, and a 5th one is on the way. 2 of those Immortals, you know, hanging around on the Warp Prism. I think he's going to send that home pretty soon. The Warp Prism got injured. There's too many Queens. Yeah, there's the Warp Prism now.
This would be a sick comeback if he is able to get back into this game.
He put in that Warp Prism a sentry, I believe. Oh, he unloaded it.
He has the right unit composition. That's not the problem. The problem is really the numbers.
He's trying to, you know, do some really nice guerrilla warfare here, it seems like.
I cannot believe that he doesn't have an Observer with this position after Shine already burrowed against him so many times.
I don't know where his Observer is.
It's finally here. It's, you know, but you should always keep one close to his army.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shine is... He just doesn't have the supply advantage he had anymore. He's starting to get a little bit worried. He didn't switch up his tech at all, and the competition is much better for Hurricane in the army supply right now.
It's all about the force fields now. Such a good flank for Shine. He's setting up everything, he's going for the run by, but now this base being attacked, the Queens are being force fielded out. The force fields for Hurricane are excellent, but look at this, once again the run by into the main base. He should have seen this coming.
Yeah, he has 2 cannons here, but the Roaches are not gonna wait. He needs to warp in force fields at home at the top of his ramp right now.
I think he just realized that he cannot do all at once. He has to focus on one thing. He doesn't have the resources or the units to defend his natural and attack. But still, even one single sentry would have done so much here.
Well, he has more. He has sentries up at the top of his ramp in the main base. Force fields go down here, and there's just so many Roaches.
And so many Immortals. We have 5 Immortals, and you know he could try to push through here. Maybe he's able to take down the Roaches.
Time Warp is good, and you know the force field at home is missed though, so the Roaches are actually in his main base meanwhile.
Exactly, they were able to walk up the ramp, and that's a huge problem for him. There are still a few cannons, and he has those Zealots, but he should have tried to hit those force fields properly. Now base after base of Shine is falling to the Immortals moving out, but the economy for Shine is just so much better, and he keeps producing Zerglings and Roaches. It's a numbers game.
Yeah. The last of the Roach is actually still surviving here.
Yeah, why does he pull those probes back?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's maybe nervous. He's misjudged the situation, but you know, all he had to do is hit that one force field, and he would be in an infinitely better position in this game. He wouldn't have won it at that point, but I think he's just going to run up here, Guardian Shield, and hope for the best. Maybe cross his fingers, because...
Yeah, he can't do anything else. I mean, this is all or nothing. He has to move in right now. He has to try to decide this game against the Spine Crawlers and the Roaches. It's nearly impossible, but he's going to try anyways.
Yeah, he tries, you know, he cuts the Roaches off. And he's still pushing through the Roaches, but the Spines are going to be way too much for him. Time Warp goes down.
The Time Warp is really good, and he's trying to make that happen. The Micro so far, awesome by Hurricane. He's moving in. He's taking down the Roaches. He's going for the Spine Crawlers. 1, 2, taking all of them down. He does not have the reinforcements, though. He needs a few Zealots.
And here come those 32 links that he just made, and that is going to be game. He tries the force field here. He's using the Warp Prism.
Oh, Tia. He's doing such a great job here, but Shine is just simply better in this position.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Links versus Immortals. It's, you know, if you open up the help tab, it'll tell you that's not a good thing to do.
He's microing like a boss, but this is it.
GG, and Shine takes it.
Maybe anxiety issues, maybe the nerves, but Tia in both games had his opponent on the ropes, but Shine just making all the right decisions. The decision making of the Zerg player was excellent in both games, but the result, the overall result of the best of 3 definitely does not reflect the series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was happy to see, though, Shine's play. I mean, he did not overreact to anything that he saw. You know, he was very patient. He always went for the run-bys, which is, you know, very standard. The problem with those run-bys is Tyr never had the Zealot in place. He never either did a pylon wall there. You know, he was never prepared for the run-bys, so the run-bys just gave him problems time after time. Yeah. He missed his force fields at his ramp a few times, never had sentries back at home.
He could have won those games, at least the Whirlwind game, and also, of course, the game on Daybreak, thinking about it. But as you said, run-bys into the main base, into the natural, Zerglings moving through the wall with no Zealot being present in hold position or a sentry for force field. Big problems here for Hurricane. Maybe a little bit too nervous in this third round of Korea. Whatever the reason, Shine just proving himself to be the better player today and is now back in Korea after he dropped out after the round of 16. Great play, but Shine, if he works on those small mistakes that he makes, then I feel he is going to be a main contender to get into Korea next season.
Yeah, you know, Tyr is definitely, he still has the opportunity in the up and downs to get through. And I'm excited for that. You know, he didn't get to have his full Cinderella story where he comes in from the qualifiers and then goes through and goes straight into Kodas. Didn't happen, but he still has the possibility in those up and downs.
Yeah, he definitely does. Well played by both players, but of course, better by Shine here. Too many mistakes by Hurricane. But this is the first series, so Hurricane now finds himself in the up and downs, whereas Shine moves on to Kodes. And we are heading into our next game today. We have another PvZ coming up for you. Trap is up against Effort. A great game. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the match, so see you.